Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is focus on the main lifts. Well, I just got done with another great productive workout. It's Friday afternoon. There's just nobody in the gym today. It was really strange. I don't know if I was here in a weird time or what. Usually there's a few people, but this was like one person, and they weren't even in the weight room. They were in the different part. So I had the whole thing to myself, which I think people are really going to regret not working out in this time. But anyway, focusing on the main lifts. What I mean is, my main lifts are the bench, the press, the squat, the dead, and the bent over row. I guess I have five main lifts, and those are all done with a barbell. And when you have the barbell, you've got the ability to put a little bit more weight on each time. And then, so if I focus on the main lifts, I focus on trying to increase the weights on those lifts, doing the standard rep range that I want. Meaning, like for the press, the squat, the dead, and the bench, I'm trying for 5 repetitions. And the bent row, I'm usually trying for 5 or more, up to 8 maybe, because I usually do them very, very heavy, following my bench press weight. But so if I'm focusing on those, like I'm trying to increase, since the COVID and the lockdowns and the not lifting for months and old injuries and whatnot, you got to be careful on how fast you increase your weights and your fitness levels and your wind and your recovery ability. So I'm increasing those 5 are going up little by little, week to week, now that I'm finally back lifting. So I've had a number of good workouts in a row. But along with those main lifts, usually on Fridays or Saturdays, the end of the week when I have more time, I do a number of accessory movements. And I like these, the arm pumping and then, other things. And but the reason I'm talking about it is, on these accessory lifts, on these accessory movements, if you do them at the end of your workout, it's going to be very difficult for you to get those weights much higher than what you're doing. There's going to come a point where you're kind of limited out in how much you can curl, for example. Like I use the dumbbell curl. The dumbbell curl seems to work good for my elbow with a minimal issues. Barbell curls, I struggle with those, so I tend not to do the barbell curl. I tend to use the dumbbell curl as my main bicep accessory movement. And what I'm saying is, it's very hard. I'm up to a weight with those dumbbells that I just can't seem to go anymore. And then I do another set or two and try to get out, get a good pump without going overboard, right? I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to hurt my elbow. But of course, I want the nice big biceps like all guys do. And that, it helps to fill out your shirt, makes you feel better about yourself, and it gives you a certain strength level. But what I'm getting at, though, is you can't expect that your curl weight is going to go up with your bench press and deadlift and squat weight, right? You'll get to a point with those curls where that's pretty much it. And the only way you could really increase the weight with those curls is if you specialized on them, and that's really all you did, or you did them first in your workout, and that's really, you just worked up to bigger and bigger. And even then, even if you did that, there'd be a limit, right? Your wrists and shoulders and elbows have a limit on how much curling capacity you have. Now, if you're like a professional arm wrestler, yeah, you would be you'd be specializing on curls and other arm wrestling related movements. I'm not. It is really cool what those guys do. I love that they have that enormous arm development. But truthfully, with my elbow problems, I don't think that's not a very smart goal for me. Maybe if I was 30 years younger and I didn't have an elbow problem, yeah, that would be pretty cool. To specialize in the bicep movements. You'll also find that guys that are like tradesmen or contractors that work outside and have to move heavy stuff around. You're hammering or doing real man work all day. They're going to tend to have a lot better arm development in general, and they'll probably have a lot stronger in the curl than you are if you're an office worker like me. So I'm trying not to worry about this curl weight. It's a fairly significant weight for me, and I work it as hard as I can, and I've kind of got up to a weight that I don't think I can go much higher, but if I just look back 5 minutes in my workout, I've seen my bent row weight went up another 5 pounds. And it's been going up 5 pounds a workout for weeks. So that means I'm getting stronger in that movement, and there's a little bit of carryover into the bicep when you do bent rows. But also probably the biggest reason is that's a hard exercise, the bent row, and I do also bench presses before that. So these curls are done toward the tail end of my workout, so I'm already expend massive amounts of energy to get my big bench press up and to get my big bent row and to do a couple of other things, close grip bench presses and a neck exercise, and I finally get to the curls, right? So that's like it's past the 3/4 mark, and I've used enormous energy on the bench press and the bent rows, and the curls, that accessory movement, it's just not gonna. So sometimes I'll end up doing less weight or less reps than I did last time, because I note this all down in my journal book, and I take a quick peek at what I did last time, and try to do as good or better. And what I'm finding is it's pretty darn hard to keep going up on these accessory lifts that you do at the middle or end of your workout. So maybe don't worry about them. If your main lifts are going up, if your bench press is increasing in your press and your bent rows, yeah, your muscle size is going to get bigger with those exercises. And if you can keep, kind of maintain your accessory lift weights, you'll get to a point where that's about as much as you can do with that accessory exercise, and just keep working that. And maybe there's a little bit of a different rep range or once you get to that limit, maybe that's the time to switch to a different accessory movement to maybe stimulate some extra growth or muscle size, or at least it'll be a little more interesting. So that's what I might do, although, like I said, with the dumbbell curls, I can seem to handle them with my elbow without too much problem. So I'm always afraid to go overboard on barbell movements. So I'm gonna try to just keep focusing on my 5 main lifts: the bench, the press, the rows, squats, and the deads. The weights are creeping up from the COVID lockdown days to something that I'm feeling a little more proud of. I'm feeling a little bit getting my strength back, and all my accessory lifts, I'm already kind of at my limit. So I might have to experiment with a different accessory lift, or just be happy focusing on the main lift. So give that idea some thought. Don't go overboard on the accessories thinking that you ought to be going up 10 pounds a week on these. No. You just won't. And the problem with the accessories are usually you're using dumbbells, or you're using the weight, you're using the machines. Machines only have they don't have a big gradation. They're 10 pounds, maybe 5 pound jumps. The dumbbells are always 5 pound jumps. There's no way to just put like an extra pound on the dumbbell, as far as I know. Maybe there is, but I'm not aware of it, and my gym doesn't have that ability, and I don't really feel like bringing my own stuff to do this. So give that idea some thought. Focus on your main lifts. All for now.